Hey Gemini, this is Michael with your general reading for October 2020. I do hope that this reading finds you well and in good spirits. Obviously, if you haven't been able to tell, October is going to be a very interesting month, astrologically speaking. There is going to be quite a bit of chaos and a bit of shifting plans and delays with Mercury going retrograde towards the middle of the month. We are already in this pre-shadow phase. We also have Mars, which has been retrograde since last month and will continue being retrograde throughout this month in the sign of Aries, which is causing a bit of conflict, some tensions, and just depleted energy overall. There may be some crankiness on some people's parts, so just things to keep in mind, especially once Mercury goes retrograde. Miscommunications are very, very likely, so don't get offended or easily riled up if people seem to be getting more irritated with you or irritable. It's just kind of a wave that we're going to be heading towards, so good things to keep in mind. Saturn did also go direct recently in the sign of Capricorn. That happened last month on the 29th, and we might be seeing some karma come back, and that's because Saturn is the sign of karma, our karmic lessons, and we are kind of brushing up on these themes that we've really been focusing a lot on this year, as well as the past 2 years. And for you specifically, Gemini, that is talking about your 8th house, which is kind of secrecy and shared power, shared assets, or other people's assets. So what this looks like is wills, inheritance, joint bank accounts, things like that. That could also be talking about business partners as well. The 8th house pertains to death in general, and there may be something to do with letting go or grief that you've really been focusing a lot on the past few years, and you're kind of brushing up on this before we go into 2021. So I'm really interested to see what is going to be coming up for you with the cards here. I do have the astrology blog linked down below, although right now it's just the aspects and transits for the month. I will be posting my write-up shortly. I'm just making some finishing touches to that. It's mostly written, but I just wanted to get through the readings in the meantime. All of my links are available down below for those of you who would like personal readings or Reiki sessions, as well as links for donations and all of my social media for those of you who feel so called. I do like to do giveaways and discounts. It's been quite some time since I've done anything like that, but we are getting close to 50,000, so hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Might be a good time to follow me if you're not doing that already. Because you never know what's going to happen next. Yeah, all of my information is down below. Let's see what we have for you, Gemini. Sorry, it's hard to talk and shuffle at the same times. What are the messages for Gemini here? Interesting. There could be a new relationship here for you, Gemini. That's coming up very strongly. You have the 3 of Cups, kind of as the overall energy for the first half of October. We do also have the Page of Chalices, or the Page of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. This could be a water sign for some of you, although it certainly doesn't have to be. And this is making a lot of sense because with Libra season, we are in your in your 9th house. I'm sorry, your 5th house, that's what I thought. We are in your 5th house, which is your house of relationships, your house of dating. And it's usually more of a casual thing. It's kind of the starting phase of a relationship when you're getting to know each other. This could be talking about friends as well. You could just be out having fun and celebrating, or however that looks for you in 2020. Obviously with quarantine, with everything that is happening, you're probably not out and about, but there is this sense of coming together. And this might not be physically. Or there's just this real drive. I do wonder, Gemini, if there is someone in your friend circle who is kind of coming forward and they may be romantically interested in you, or they're trying to have a heart-to-heart conversation. And it seems tied to this coming together here. Who is this person? Let's learn a little more about this. So we have the Death card. This could be a Scorpio for sure. The Ten of Cups. And the Four of Swords. So I feel like for a lot of you, you've been in the process of either healing from an old relationship, or there's just been some tumultuous times, maybe in a partnership you're already in. I do feel like there is something that is healing though, and with the Death card, it feels like it's kind of the end of that solitude or the end of that healing cycle. And the Ten of Cups is this willingness to really go after what it is that you want and opening yourself up to love. And I think some of you are feeling very serious about that again. But again, this is more an energy of you kind of putting yourself out there, you exploring a relationship. Maybe for some of you this is deepening your connection and you're kind of letting go of some past hurts, you're moving on from that. This feels really, really positive, honestly. And this could also be the other person. The person who is coming into your life, they might have been going through a healing cycle and now they're ready for a relationship. I could potentially see that as well. I even wonder if for some of you this could be somebody from the past. Because there is this sort of past connection here. This was either you healing from a different relationship or sort of a rough patch between you and this person, and now things are kind of mending a bit. And this could also be talking about Mercury retrograde, which is notorious for bringing back people from the past. Usually this is a person we're not necessarily thinking about. It certainly can be an ex, but a lot of the time people will have somebody in mind they're thinking of, so this may or may not be that person. But I do wonder if there is this past connection between the two of you, and it's interesting. Maybe you're just, apologizing or reconnecting, or trying to heal what happened here. This might not necessarily be a new romance, although I think for some of you it certainly could be. So let's pull the animal wisdom here. What is the animal wisdom for Gemini for the first half of the month? What is the wisdom for Gemini? And we did start off this month with a full moon in Aries, which for you is your 11th house. And so there really could be this thing with your social circle as well. So Stingray, going with the flow. Being flexible. Yeah, this really doesn't feel like you're necessarily trying to jump straight into something. You have an end game in mind, but I think it's really important for you to kind of just go with the flow. Even if it feels a little uncomfortable, some of you might still be feeling a bit guarded because of past situations. And I see healing as a big theme for you in general. I'm looking at the Stingray, I'm seeing these chakras here. Some of you might be doing energy healing on yourself or some form of holistic healing, kind of finding this realignment. And also needing to develop your own sense of self, work your spine here. And you might be flexing a little bit and it feels uncomfortable, but overall, I think there's a lot of beautiful energy around you, at least for the first half of October. So I'm curious to see what we have in store for the second half of the month, especially with the Mercury going retrograde. And for you, Gemini, that is your, what is that for you? I don't know why I'm forgetting your houses today. Give me a moment here. Apparently Mercury retrograde is keeping me on dial-up here. So for you, Mercury is retrograding in Scorpio, which is your 12th house. So there is a lot of spiritual growth that's happening, and I think you're kind of seeing the subconscious ways that you may have been sabotaging yourself or keeping yourself closed off. And there is a need for forgiveness that actually is coming up a lot. So you might be talking to someone from the past and forgiving them, or you're doing some sort of inner healing. You might not be connecting at all, but I do get the sense that for a lot of you, there's somebody reaching out here. One moment, I just had all these cards fall. So that was like half the deck. Let's try that again. What are the messages here for Gemini? What are the messages for Gemini? Show me clearly. And I'm sorry, it's not your 12th house. It is actually your 6th house, where Mercury is retrograding. So you might be thinking a lot about your routines. It is connected to the 12th house, though, because a lot of the times our routines are subconscious. We keep ourselves in these sort of patterns where we don't necessarily see how we might be closing ourselves off, or how we might be... Interesting that I'm saying all of this with the Hanged Man and the Hermit here. Kind of keeping yourself stuck. You're sort of seeing this pattern in yourself, and you're actually really focusing on this a lot for your second half of October. And we do have Neptune that is in your 12th house. Or I'm sorry. Where is Neptune for you? That is your 10th house. Your house of career, the way that you're showing up in the world. It feels in conflict. That's another energy. Let's see. We have the Four of Wands here. Sort of overall energy. Again, there's something I feel like a lot of you are celebrating this month. This could be some sort of anniversary or a party of some kind. People coming together and celebrating. And there's a lot of progress here actually with the Eight of Wands, which is interesting. This might have to do with incoming news. You might be celebrating something that you're finding out. I could even potentially see something like an announcement from somebody. So there could be someone who's pregnant or something like that. Someone's announcing a proposal or their engagement. I could see that, and somehow it's affecting you. You're really excited for this person. But I feel like, I do feel like, Gemini, there is something that you specifically are celebrating. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below what that is. We do have the Seven of Coins here as well, which is you working very hard on something, getting some sort of payoff or reward. And you might be thinking about, what am I supposed to be doing next? How do I invest in this? How can I grow from here? There's a lot of pausing and thinking with the Hermit and the Hanged Man. And it's interesting because your heart really wants to move forward. This is showing up in your emotions, this Eight of Wands. But in your mind, you have the Hanged Man and the Hermit. It's like there's this hang-up. There is Pisces energy here with the Hanged Man energy, and also Virgo with the Hermit, so you could be dealing with one of those individuals as well, and there could just be something that is kind of stuck, or someone's taking some space. And that's interesting because we started off the month with this sort of connection, or this seeing eye to eye, this heart-to-heart connection. And I'm wondering if in the second half of the month someone may pull away or feel a bit more guarded and there's more distance. I don't necessarily feel like you should read too much into that, but it might just show you that this healing process we were talking about at the start of the month is still occurring. There's still more healing to be done, and I would say give that some time. I am curious to see what the animal cards say as a bit of advice, but you are celebrating something and you are building something regardless. And that's really, really nice to see. Yeah, with this bee, it's like you've been working very hard and you're creating this sweetness in your life. This could be talking about relationships, but I actually feel like there's some sort of project that you've been working on, or maybe something with your job, and you're getting some sort of reward or praise, and it just feels really good. It feels like this energy of, I finally made it, I finally got here. And again, you could be thinking about long-term goals with all of this 6th house focus. You might be thinking a lot about your health, your sort of routines for success, and really be making changes there. I feel like you're actually surprisingly busy. You're kind of restructuring your life and trying to find a new balance. And I think that meditation and spirituality is going to be really, really important for you in the second half of the month. And when Mercury goes retrograde in a water sign, it is a very intuitive time. We might not necessarily understand all the logistics of the intuitions that come forward at that time, but with the Hanged Man, it's like you gaining new perspective, you seeing things from a different angle. And this often does indicate some sort of divination as well. So maybe you're working with tarot, maybe you're working with runes and learning from that and meditating on all of this. But I actually think with the Hanged Man, this is you connecting to your intuition, maybe around Samhain, the Halloween, the lifting of the veil. There could be something that comes through for you. And that is also accompanied with a Taurus full moon. We have a Taurus full moon on October 31st. And that's always really interesting because that is your 12th house. That is your subconscious. So that's what's coming up. I felt like there was something with your 12th house. Okay, there it is. And it feels like you're really having this illumination. And you're really seeing your subconscious. You're really seeing things you don't ordinarily see, or hearing things you don't ordinarily hear. And that could, quite frankly, be psychic messages. Or you're just having a very strong pull or sense of something. And there is a need to forgive. That is really important. You need to kind of let something go. You might be keeping yourself isolated because you haven't let go of past hurts. That could very well be what this Hanged Man and Hermit energy is talking about as well. And it does just require you to really reflect and to be honest with yourself. Because I feel like on the surface, you really do want connection. You really do want your relationships to flow with ease and to feel loved. But then there's this part of you that's afraid of that. So why are you afraid of this sweetness? Why are you afraid of kind of cultivating this? It's almost like you don't trust it. So just some questions for you. I do want to pull a color healing card before we finish up. And I will be reading a guided meditation or exercise straight from the book, but you're welcome to use these colors in whatever way feels right to you. Don't let this be, this isn't a strict thing by any means. You're welcome to use these colors in any way your intuition feels called to. So what is the healing color for Gemini? Show me clearly. Blue. Activate your healing power. Yeah, some of you are really focused on your health towards the end of the month. Let's see. So blue, 37, 10 breaks down to 1. And when you have that 1, 0 numerologically, It's like a new beginning, a fresh start, a new cycle. So let's see. Here we go. Blue activates healing powers, increases vitality, and has a calming effect when people feel nervous, manic, or overexcited. It also contains antiseptic qualities that heal burns, stop bleeding, and relieve fevers. Blue can even increase your metabolism. Use the blue sword of light to assist you in healing your body. Imagine you have a blue sword of light. At the tip of the sword, there is a blue star, which has incredible healing power. When the star touches any area that is sick, it dissolves the sickness out of your body. Use the blue sword of light to relieve fevers, stop bleeding, heal burns, and clear skin problems. Say, Divine Sword of Light, heal, purify, and regenerate this area. Repeat this statement several times for about 2 minutes until you feel better. And this blue color can also represent your throat chakra. You might not be expressing yourself, or communication could suddenly be blocked towards the end of the month with Mercury going retrograde. So there could be some work for you there, working on your throat, which is always so interesting because you kind of rule over voice. You are mercurial Gemini. And when our ruling planet goes retrograde, it really does affect us. I'm a Virgo myself, so I'm also very affected by whatever Mercury is doing, which is kind of crazy because our planet goes retrograde every 3 or 4 months. So you might be healing this way that you express yourself, and also healing the wounds that are preventing you from expressing yourself. And you can use this blue sword of light on emotional issues as well, this exercise. You can even kind of do a body scan when you're connecting with emotional wounds or trauma, whether that's big T trauma or little t trauma, and really ask yourself, where do I hold this hurt in my body? And you can kind of use this blue sword to heal that part of you. You may be healing your heart or any other part of your body as well. Those are all the messages I have for you this month, though. Gemini, I do hope that this was helpful for you. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what is going on for you, if there's this new relationship that you're kind of worried about, or if there's some healing that's still going on that's preventing you from really opening up to this person, or maybe vice versa. I'm very, very curious to hear about the situation. Of course, all of my links are down below for those of you who are interested in personal readings or Reiki sessions. And if you'd like greater guidance or clarity, you can check out some of the other videos as well for your moon, rising, or Venus signs. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Gemini. Have a happy October.